Nah, I'm here, YouTube. I'm just a bloody idiot. My goodness. How long have I been doing this for? Jeez. Hello, YouTube. How you doing? Bonebrew, Cosmic. I've already said hello to you guys, but hello to Moki. But you guys didn't see it. Freshmellow. Hey, bro. You liked my video 3 years ago, and now I'm at home after army. I can draw with this emotion. Thank you for everything. Ah, Freshmellow. That's awesome. Appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, no, if the stream isn't happening, I would let you know. I was just an idiot and I didn't click the button. All right. So let's get cracking, hey? Great to have you, Gamer, Bone Brew, Julio, Tomoki, Cosmic. All right. So, where was I before being rudely interrupted by my stupidity? I'm looking for some gesture. Some gesture stuff. And we're just trying to get something. So it could even be very simple as well. It doesn't have to be super, super fancy. There's something that just speaks to me. And as I said before, I'll know it when I see it. But this is the danger, right? You can get caught in this loop where you spend an hour trying to get the perfect reference. Which it seems like I'm doing now. There is no perfect reference. There is no such thing. I kind of like these shapes here. I don't know why, but I do. Okie dokie. I was at 1.5. Okay, yeah, now I'm bang. Now we're bang on. Now we're at 0 and we're getting stuck into it, hey? All right. Let me move some stuff around here. So how have you guys been? Hope you've been well. All right, let's find some room. Let's find some room. So starting off with a nice little warm up. Let's see if we can simplify this. I see arc. Boom. That's a big first thing that I'm seeing. And then I'm saying whoop whoop. And then I'm saying whoop, whoop, whoop. And then we've got to decide how big the head's going to be. So we can come in here. Very square head I'm feeling. Now we could even do it smaller, so his jacket's like massive. Maybe, I don't know. Eye socket. Boom, boom, ear, too low. We're just getting gesture here. We're not trying to get fancy just yet. Just get this for Instagram and scooch that over. There you go. Get a chance to just check out some of the watercolors I've dropped in the Discord. Been really loving the small form factor. I'll have to check it out, Bone, I haven't. Cosmic. I'm trying to figure out how to not get an HDRI to ruin my color palette. Get HDRI to not ruin. What do you mean by that? Bonebrew, if I find myself in a reference hunt, hole, or loop, I chalk it up and allow myself to do it, but set a 25-minute timer once it goes off. No more reference hunting. I like it. Boundaries. Lulu, you accidentally stole a cruffin? What does that even mean? And should you be saying this on stream? And should I have even pointed it out? My apologies. Crispy, how you doing? Great to have you, Lulu. Bonebrew, do you have daylight savings time on your end of the world, Ben? I do. We do. Ah, Cosmic. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. So you got to compress those colors, hey? Okay, hairstyle, boom, boom. Also went and saw, what's it called? Mary. Project Hail Mary. Yesterday. First time I've been in the movies in a long time. Daylight savings happening next week, Tomoki. You're the Bureau of Statistics and weather and time for us. Thank you very much. Like a cronut muffin. I know what it is, Lulu. But I'm more concerned about the thievery. One of my girlfriends to snack on, but I ended up walking away with it in my bag after I offered to carry it. I see what you did there. Yeah, offered to carry it. In your stomach. But yeah, when I saw the Project Hail Mary, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm thinking I'd love to do it because it's always for me. I don't know about you guys, but after watching a movie or something, I always feel like I want to draw the characters or something to do with it. So I might even do something for that because I haven't posted anything of substance on Instagram in ages, which is what it is, you know. But yeah, I'm feeling like I gotta. The content game has got to. Well, it is anyway going to be pumping pretty soon because Drea is getting close. So is the on-demand course ready for testing for my workshop people. Happen very soon, which is great. But there is a big issue with when you're creating your own platform and also using it for whatever you're using it for. For example, I'm putting my course on the platform, is as you're building the course, the content, you're like, oh, this would be so much better if it worked like this and worked like that and worked like this. And before you know it, you spent a whole day implementing a feature that is useful, but then you've also lost a day on not making the content. So it's that balance. So after this stream, it's got to be content city for me, just working on the content of the course, because it's so easy just to get stuck into it, because I just want to make it the best it can possibly be. Is it reversed like the seasons are? So when it's spring forward for us, it's fall back for you since daylight happens normally. Yeah, it is flipped. It's flipped. Vanderpan, pretty cold today, eh? It is a little bit chilly. Most people want us to have a person. Oh, it's savage. Cosmic. What was the biggest challenge for you creating Drea? There's a bunch. But it is, I think also, yeah, that balance between the, how do I put it? Like what to work on and focus on initially. Is it the student? It's sort of like that chicken and egg problem. Is it the student experience, or is it the creator experience? We end up doing both, right? And trying to make both of those as best as we can. But it's kind of like, if I'm not efficient or enjoying the creation inside Drea of the course, then it's not going to be fun to make stuff, put stuff out there, or easy to do that. And then it kind of defeats the purpose of Drea altogether. But at the same time, we also have to spend a bunch of time making sure that once it's created, that the students get the best experience as well. So it's kind of like a priority game. Swapping back and forth between those has kind of been the trickiest thing. Content city sounds dystopian. Yeah, true. I put it this way. Like the latest thing I put in to Drea from the creator side is a tweak to the to-do system. So there's a to-do system in there where each part of the course content or the editor, you can set yourself up like a to-do and like prioritize in like a Trello or like a Kanban board sort of way. You can also, if for example students say, hey, this isn't working or this doesn't make sense, and you get a bunch of those, you can then convert comments into to-do or action items. You can also convert video annotations. Say if you're going through and doing iterations on videos, you can then annotate on the video, do a bunch of those in the video, and then mark them all as to-dos. So then you've got one overarching place to say, okay, this is the work I need to do, and go. Because I find it so hard to like traditionally go through if I'm doing it in all a bunch of different apps and stuff. You got videos, you got articles, you got written stuff, you've got animations, you've got 3D things, all within the course, and you got the resources the downloadables, that like keeping track of all that across all the stuff is like a pain in the ass. So I've been working on making that all within, and let alone getting feedback on stuff. So that's like a big thing that I've implemented recently, which is like a massive quality of life efficiency kick, which is going to help with the creation of the stuff I'm putting out. But at the same time, that took time to put together, think through, you know. Does it make sense? Etc, etc. Buddy guy, friend, thank you very much. Appreciate ya. Also been working on version 2.0 of Plain Jane. It is a real iteration game with this, the physical sculpture casting stuff, particularly with the new design. Because you don't know if it's going to work until you try it out, and then you try it out, and then it doesn't work, and then you just got to go again and again and again and again, particularly with like the mold making. So I did like a 3D print of the mold shell, because usually you'd have to do like a full clay up. And if there's any mold makers out there or people that understand this stuff, you know what I'm talking about. But essentially, you get your initial thing that you want to copy, right? Then what you do, you put something protective over it so it doesn't get damaged. Then you put clay at a certain thickness over the top of it, which is then going to be replaced by silicon. So, and then you create a hard shell over that clay so that then you can then, once that hard shell is set, you take the clay out and then you pour in the silicon. So wherever that clay is, the silicon is where the clay was, and then you can cast. But there is a whole art to mold making as well, because you got to think about air pockets. You got to think about the pouring of the silicon and then the pouring of the resin or the whatever thing that you're casting in. I might go and grab in a sec what I've been working on as well, because it's, I don't know, I'm proud of it and I'd like to share it with you guys. Appreciate it, Tomoki. How much weight do you put on meetups, conventions, and in-person networking? I know it isn't directly related to the platform things, but something I'm curious about. Does that feed your designs? Put it this way. I'm going back to California every year for the rest of my life, because it was so much, there's so many different ways it's helped stuff, you know. From a personal perspective, it's like cool to be, because I'm not around many people. Like, I'm in my office most hours of the day. I'm not really connected to too many people that are doing stuff here. I'm always on calls with people from the States that are doing cool stuff, you know. And that could be a skill issue on my part. Maybe I'm not reaching out enough locally, but just being around that energy of people doing stuff, one, fantastic. I mean, that gives me such a boost in motivation, you know, because you can get in your own head a little bit too much sometimes. And sometimes, like, I get into it, I'm like, what am I even doing with my life? You know, blah, 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 blah. The usual shit that everyone else goes through, right? Then you get around people that are doing cool stuff and you're like, oh, this is why I'm doing it. It's bloody fun. And cool people are doing the thing and they're doing a bunch of different stuff. So there's that. And then the networking stuff, like the most networking that, like, I never go into any situation with the goal of networking. But it ends up happening, like, just come out, like, I don't know, trying to find cool people doing cool stuff. And from that can come a lot of opportunity for friendships, for collaborations, for all sorts of stuff, you know? Opportunities that otherwise wouldn't have come around if I just stayed here in my office doing this all by myself, you know? So I do hold a lot of weight on going out, meetups and conventions and that kind of stuff, meeting people, because I never thought about it really until I went over to the States, and I was like, shit, yeah, this is a big part of it. It's a whole part of it, because, I mean, it's great to be around people doing cool stuff. All right, I've been hanging on this guy for too long. Well, not too long, but a little bit longer than I initially was planning to. So let's carry on. Might do another. I feel like painting. I feel like, I don't know what I feel like doing. Tanya, how you doing? Excuse me. Silicone mold sounds like it could be messy. It gets very messy, but the cool thing is, once you make the mess with the silicone, you just let it set, and then it's silicone. You just peel it off of stuff. It's pretty cool. Before I get the next, actually, let's get the next reference, then I'll get the thing to show you. What do we think? Oh, I hope I'm as cool as this guy when I'm older. I'm feeling I want something dynamic. Come on, let's not get stuck. Let's go back here. Stream. Where is it? Stream figure. Have we got anything that we haven't done in here? This is cool from like a shadow perspective. I could play with this. All right. 2001 biggest obstacle I've been trying to get over is the masking tool in Procreate. I haven't played around with the mask tool in Procreate, but I'd imagine it's the same as Photoshop. Biggest tip for that is white reveals, black takes away. It takes a little bit to wrap your head around, but you'll get there. All right, we'll be back in a sec. All right. So I'll show you my progress so far. Do we have... and we don't have studio display. There we go. Okay. So this is the master so far of Plain Jane version 2. You see how jank it is right now? This is the work that goes in. Even though it was a 3D print, right? I sculpted it based off of the original clay version, right? There is so much work that has to go in. Oh, also, I'm pretty happy about that. The little focus there, little signature at the bottom, right? Then you got the magnet holes. But to get these flat like that, absolute fucking nightmare, right? So I have to fill, sand, sculpt this, like carve it, you know? And then this is like the eyes are obviously going to go in here and the brows and stuff. So then you got the magnet half, so it'll go. You got the bottom. Getting that sitting flat was a pain in the ass as well. So this is where I'm at with that. And then here is the mold cavity, right? Oh no, the mold shell, sorry. So this is what one half is going to sit in. And then you've got, oh, hold on, Instagram's gone. Where is my camera? Transform, reset, transform, I guess. Ah, fun. Oh, right. So these two halves, these have to like lock in. That's why it's all like funky. So these have like self-keying things. Silicon pours into here. This is going to be flat. Silicon pours into here. And there's like a slight gap. I don't know if you can imagine or see this, right? So there is a, without damaging this, there is like such a small little gap around here. There will be when it's sitting flat, and that's where the silicon is going to be. So the reason that you do a shell is to save a ton on silicon and not wasting a bunch, because you can just do like a block of silicon and you could just pour it and then be done with it. But also not really, because I've got to figure out how to then on the underside do another shell to get the magnet registrations all done. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, there's that as well. Yep, thank you, seriously. I'll fix that, hopefully. I should be back. Yes, I've been working on that all week as well. Lots of sanding. I tell you what, sanding like bloody crazy. Also, for any of you that are that do like airbrushing and like prime stuff, even if it's like hobby models and that kind of thing, get yourself some automotive filler primer and get the lacquer thinner. Make sure you're doing this in a well ventilated area. You have all your PPE, and save yourself a ton of money on the hobby tax, because you can get a tin of that stuff, like a decent sized tin that will last you forever. And if you've got an airbrush, versus buying cans and cans and cans of the stuff that are like $20 each, that'll last you maybe like, I don't know, a couple of goes around. I want to invest in some Chavant clay. That'll be a fantastic investment, Lulu. Procreate's coming to MacBook. It is. It is. I saw that. Mind you, it was a I'm not sure how MacBook will support Apple Pencil. I almost guarantee it won't, because I'm not even sure how that works. Unless they've got some inside, because they're pretty tight with Apple. Like, I don't know, but I would imagine, because they're like the #1 drawing tool. Or they're up there, right? So I wonder if Apple's given them a little like, hey, we got some some larger screen real estate coming that also has keys and a keyboard connected to it, if you know what I'm saying. So you never know their reasoning behind that, because I know that they were very adamant about not doing that for a long time. But I think also from a workflow perspective, I think they're thinking like, okay, maybe our tools are becoming more and more like industry standard-ish. Like a lot of illustrators will use them, and it would be nice. And a lot of illustrators do, and animators and everything do have like a MacBook, or they like to work on the desktop. So it would be nice from a workflow perspective, because sometimes you do just need a larger screen. But yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. Ben, can you attach a camera to your hat or headband and just stream while you're working on this stuff? Because I'm really curious. It sounds cool. I would love to, actually. I was thinking about that. I'd love to have multiple cameras set up at the different stations that I'm working and be able to swap between them, because I'm going back and forth between paint, sanding, and then like pouring silicone and like resin casting, and then paint, and then and I could have like, I could be like walking around, swap camera, head camera. That would be sick. I don't know how interesting that would be to a lot of people, but it would be fun for me. So that's a good place to start, I guess, right? Fat Cappy. Very good. Crouching poses are too difficult to draw. I don't seem to know squat about it. Welcome, my friend. Crispy, where are you going to pour spout for the resin? It'll be on the other side, where it will be flat, and there'll be another shell on top, and then I've got to like tilt it slightly and have the pour spout at the lowest point, and then the air holes, the air vents. So I've got to print that as well. I'm in two minds of if I print that or if I do it the more traditional way, as a prototype first to see if it works. I don't know. But man, modeling that freaking mold shell took me ages to figure out. Like, it was such a simple, it seems like such a simple idea. You're like, yeah, you just like get the thing and then you make a shell. I got a process now to do that, but man, it was a pain in the ass. Where's Filthy? There we are. Have you tried the force skill in your artwork? The force skill. The force skill. The force skill. Oh, Michael Matessi's. Is that what you're talking about? I haven't studied too much of his stuff. I like it. I love the look and the feel and the the flow of it all. Maybe we make this guy like a creepy dude. It's got that like kind of creepy vibe, like the lighting. Like body force, which lead the body muscle more strength. Victor, I'm not entirely sure what you mean, and that's a me issue. So my apologies. Currently going through the Control plus Paint digital sketching course. Nice one. I wonder where the creator has been. He never finished the concept series in the website. Oh, interesting. Control plus Paint. Never taken their courses. They can just have fun with the reference. Yeah, we got the general vibe of it. So we can take some cues for this from this as well, like where is the sockets potentially, in a general sense, because I'm definitely not going for any sort of likeness or anything like that. Obviously, I couldn't go for likeness because it's got the skull, but you know what I mean? Yeah, that looked like a pain in the ass to figure out, 100%. I just pour blocks or do a paint on. Not as nice looking. Yeah. The benefit of spending the time, I guess, up front with the shell is you can reuse it after the silicon sort of perishes, you know? Or it starts to degrade. But it only makes sense if you're doing production, like if you're doing a bunch of them. The block and the brush on works just fine. I've never actually, no, not never. By myself, I haven't made a brush on. I did it with a mate, but I haven't gone down the brush on route. But then comes the issue now, because these are going to be solid, right? These halves are going to be solid, not hollow like the original, which was one hollow sculpture, is the weight. Both of these together in resin, I tested it. It ended up being about bloody half a kilo, which is not going to fly for shipping, or just in general. It just felt too heavy for what it was, right? So then I had to get this stuff called, I think it's Urofil, which is a filler for the resin, which makes it lighter. But that also has a lot of learnings, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. A lot more than I thought. I thought I was like, oh yeah, just do it in 2 halves and whack magnets in there, and yeah, it's going to save me a ton of time. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. I want a digital pen that inks shadows like the one you're using. A digital pen? What are you talking about? You can get this brush if you want. It's free. If that's what you're talking about. I went to a life painting class today and noticed other artists struggling with applying shadows with oil. I shared some tips from Grey Matter and it was cool to see their work improve. Dude, fantastic. Now I can see how everything works with light, but I'm still learning how to paint. That's awesome, man. That's very cool. What sort of stuff were you talking about? Was it like the cast shadow? Or are we talking form shadows? These are just cool shapes. I like the hands. Let's try. The cast shadows and reflected shadows, light coming from the cool background. Yeah, nice one. Hi, do you have any tips for mastering head from all angles? Should I focus on portraits? I really struggle to get eyes to look natural from high or low angles. One, do a lot of them at different angles, at the angles that you aren't used to or you feel the most uncomfortable doing, right? So if you tend to sit down, I'm going to guess that if you sit down, you're probably going to do a front on head or maybe venture out into like a 3/4, you know, maybe a profile if you're feeling spicy, right? But what I would recommend you start doing is to really push yourself and like, okay, get some reference as well. You don't have to do this from imagination. It's like, all right, if I wanted to tilt this head down, what would all the elements have to be doing? You know, well, if we were to simplify this, and this is where my new videos that I'm working on, keep on the dark color, thank you. There's so many more ways. Well, there's so many ways to represent the head or any object for that matter, that there's no one right way to do a head block in. You know, it's whatever makes sense to you. But for this, for example, if I was just to do the head straight down on this angle, which is kind of an unusual angle, we wouldn't be typically, it's not what you would do if you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to draw a head, right? So the main things I'm thinking about here, if we're looking down, is that we've got a lot of these curves, right? Even the brow, the nose, the chin, even the clavicle even more. That's going to be like, you know, but everything's telling the story of 3 dimensions, right? And we can then simplify this down in our head so we don't have to draw this, even if we just understand it from a conceptual standpoint. It's more cylindrical. You could do the same if you think more in boxes, you know. You could do a hybrid. You could do like a hybrid cylinder that then goes down into a box, you know. Right? You could do anything you want, but as long as you're thinking about what's happening and why from the simplest forms, because if you don't get the simple forms right, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get those details correct, if that makes sense. So same deal if we were to try to look up. All right. I'm imagining this is the chin, nose, head, all right, ear, everything's up. All right, everything's telling the same story. The sockets, the eyes, right, these arcs are going to help. You know, you go under the nose. So really, even intellectually, like writing it down, even, but like up, literally like under, or even thinking about it out loud is like, what am I seeing? I'm going to see under the socket. I'm going to see under the nose. I'm going to see under the chin, because we can start to do this weird hybrid thing of like do a chin like that, but then we draw like a nose as if we were looking at it front on or like from the top, and then we might, because we're used to drawing the eyes like this, then we might draw the eye, and then it just starts to get all out of whack, you know. But if we're always, because we've got to go against our intuition a lot of the time as we're learning this stuff, because it's not intuitive yet. It's not something that we're used to doing. So if we sort of like intellectualize it more and really say, okay, what am I going to be seeing and where and why, it'll hopefully help you out a ton. Congratulations, you got me on a tangent. You get the tangent badge. Fririn meme, true. Okay, Chaos. Hey Ben, love your work so much. Thank you very much. That means a lot. And I've improved so much from your videos. Ah, man, that's wicked. That's so good. Keep doing what you're doing. Ah, you're so kind. Thank you very much. Thanks for popping in. It means a lot. Let's see if we can go more structural with this to begin with. So I'm looking at the head here. It's going back. So I'm kind of going the opposite of like a gesture first, right? Oh, now I am going a bit of gesture. I can't help it. Can't help myself. But then I'm trying to think of arm here, hand, but like that. Arm back here, but hand there. Find that center line is going to help us out a lot as well. It could even be like flea on base or something. Going crazy. Side quest complete, nice one. Right, so even here, right, we're looking at the brows. Weird angle, very odd angle. Right, but even the mouth is telling the story. The chin telling the story. Tell the same story. Be consistent. Don't be flaky. Be reliable. Yeah, boom. Alright, so we got this really like crazy pose. That deltoid is even sort of creasing here, which is crazy. And then bap. Crease, crease. Pet. Right, because I'm jumping back and forth between this sort of like 2D and 3D thinking, right? So we can almost do the crash test dummy kind of vibe for the side of the head, just to get that angle for the ear. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not doing it because I just saw it on a tutorial. I'm doing it because it's a tool that's going to help me. All right, and then we can remove it and then bring the ear back. And then even just like flip it around. Does that make sense from this angle? All right, make sure you flip. And I oftentimes like to not draw if I'm trying to figure it out, right? If I'm trying to figure out what's happening underneath, I'll remove the hair a lot. You'll probably notice that if you've spent any time on these streams, right? Because I really want to know what's happening with the head underneath. Right, so we might have the sideburns here. And if we were to try and figure out so this is the acromion process. Excuse me. Oh, speaking of, I'll show you what I've been working on from the skull version. Blender would like to access a microphone. Why the fuck would Blender need my microphone? What are we thinking? Version, so this is, you get an idea, version 22 of the plain Jane. So this is version 22 of a Blender 5, 23 actually. Mold shells, plain Jane, magnets. I think it's here. Yeah. So I've been working on this version. And making this anatomically correct. Alright, so this is what we're drawing at the moment. The acromion process. Right, and the clavicle sort of going backwards in space. Now this is going to be a bitch to mold, I think. Unless it's not. Unless it's not and I'm overthinking it. Did you use the array for the spine? No. No, because these will have to be different. So I duplicated them, but then I adjusted them as you go. And these insert at the correct, I think it's on the 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, the 8th. That first rib popping in there. I mean, these aren't super, because it's stylized, right? It's a bloody, like, it's plain Jane, but skull version. But these would actually look a lot different. Like this one looks very, very different to this one, and then these kind of look pretty similar. And then these start to like lengthen, which is where you get that little bump in the back here. But that's what I'm drawing or trying to find here, right? And we've been capped by Instagram. Thank you, Instagram. But nothing. So we're trying to find... I want to do my own, like, full-on stylized, like, not just the bust. I want to do, like, a full stylized écorché. So then I could use this all the time. Right, because we've got to find, and this is where we could really start to break it down. So we've got the neck, the spine, you see 7 maybe, cervical 7. Lana, how you doing? All right, I want to keep this up here. Keep it to the side. So let's see if we can find... Ugh, now where's my reference? This is going to be fucking... there's a lot of guesswork here. This is kind of like that. And then this is going to be compressed back here probably. So it's going to go backwards. Clavicle finding its way to the front there. So So we're doing a little bit of combination gesture and anatomy study. Alright, so then you have the traps, then you have the deltoid. It's gonna connect here. It's all just a map that we've got to try and follow. So this is the scapula. And then this is the acromion. I think this is the acromion process. The whole thing, I think, is called the acromion process. And then you got the little scapula thingy that holds the little ball and socket joint of the arm. And then you got the arm bone. Hell yeah. And then the ribs would come. Yeah, weird little side quest we're going on here. For a little bit of anatomy. Figuring out. So this little clavicle here is going to be foreshortened like a lot. And you got the span. Oh, Lana, I saw a thingy yesterday. The Project Hail Mary. Oh, you're in a writer's program. The screenwriting? Hell yeah. What did I think? I thought it was good. I thought the beginning was a little slow, if I'm honest. I was like, okay. What's going on here? But no, it got good. I'm trying to get into the program. It's very competitive, but yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Going for it. I love it. Best of luck with that. Yeah, it's slow until the... True. True. I was kind of... Yeah, it was actually very slow. I was like... It's got good reviews, but I'm not sure why. Like, I love me a bit of Gosling. He makes me giggle. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, what are we doing here? Come on. What's the name of the film? Project Hail Mary, I think. Did I cry? No. No, it didn't hit me that way. I also don't want to talk about spoilers either, so it's tough. Alright, so I've got the kind of anatomy feeling. Let's see if we can just get the simple shapes. I don't know why, I just feel like doing this. So hopefully you follow along and have a bit of fun, you know? Sketchy, how we doing? I think I watched The Martian, his other book, and it was just, okay, The Martian. That was with Matt Damon, yeah? I think it's the friendship is so sweet and Ryan Gosling is so charming. True. I don't want to talk about it. We've got to wait for a couple of weeks. Because after that point, it's like, well, I thought it was very clever. No, I gotta wait. Ben, do you think you can recreate this pro? Oh, yeah, I'm sure, but yeah, I'll have a backache afterwards. So again, we've got this head, which is facing this way. Little bucket head action going. Or we could cube it up if we want. Same, but different. This is what I'll sit and do sometimes if I am sketching. I just try and figure stuff out. Not try and make it pretty, but just really get an understanding of what's happening with the forms. Alejandro, thank you. It's been sold out since it came out here. It's very popular. Really, there was like 5 people in the cinema where I'm from. Mind you, I'm in Adelaide, South Australia, so there's not that massive of a population. But what was clever, I liked the metallic nature of how Rocky... I like how he interacted with the elements, if that makes sense. It makes perfect sense to you, Lana. And how, like, glass, right? It makes sense that glass is a rock, right? It's just a crushed up rock that's, like, blasted super, super hot. So it makes sense that there would be glass and see-through. I thought it kind of made sense loosely. Good night, Alejandro. I'm going to see how I feel about it after the second time because my expectations were low, yeah. I've seen segments where they photograph ballet dancers doing all kinds of weird and wonderful poses, but they can only hold them in a split second before collapsing. Makes a good photo though, yeah, I've seen that as well. I know you mainly use Photoshop, but do you ever hear they finally fixed the text tool in Critter? I've never even touched the text tool in Critter. Say that 10 times fast. The text tool and critter. The text tool and critter. The text tool and critter. I've never touched it. I'm glad I did though. I'm glad they fixed it. Rye Void, I've been watching your content streams ever since you dropped the Loomis method vid. Ah, the OG. Appreciate it, Rye. I like when he makes the mini him and he's like, this is you. Yeah. Yeah, I like that as well. And not gonna lie, I dig your art style because of how simple yet detailed it is. Thank you very much, Rye. Photoshop is like almost magic now. You can turn a flat object into 3D and rotate it. Yeah. I've seen that. So here we've got that pectoral, and then there's that clavicle. Poking out. Rib. That pose looks like the handsome Squidward falling. No. Let's find that greater trochanter, shall we? And get the tuchus muscles. Alright, I've had enough fiddling around with this one. Let's do another one. Damn. That just looks painful. Let's try it. Ah, Alejandro, you bloody legend. Thank you, my friend. You've got a web browser open and Photoshop and Blender and you're streaming. How much RAM does your computer have? I maxed it out. 64 gigs. And it's like the integrated silicon whatever RAM. But this is old now. I'm on the M1. There's now M4. 4 generations behind. AI could never hallucinate something as original and handsome as handsome Squidward is. True. All right, let's see. It's kind of just like this pose, but in a different view. I need some room. I'm feeling claustrophobic here. Give us some room, please. Oh, they're up to M5 now. Far out. Okay, well, 5 generations behind. With Apple pricing, that must have cost an arm and a leg. It did. But, I mean, what was it? 5 years later? Or 4 years later, or whatever it is. I mean, it's paid for itself, you know. That's the thing. If you do end up paying for, like, that's something I've learned as I started to get a little bit older, a little bit more experience, mind you. I'm only 32, okay? Let's not get crazy. But it's like, yeah, if you buy quality, it'll last, typically. Versus buying, like, cheap and out. Okay, let's have a look here. What am I seeing? Let's start with the gesture. Boom, boom, boom. Here, and then boom. Cool. And then this is kind of like offset. This is a very odd looking pose. Just getting the gesture to begin with. This is where we got to get observant with what's in front and what's behind. Right, so this pec is sitting on top of everything. There's deltoid on top. You know, then this arm is kind of tucked up underneath there. I appreciate it, Alejandro. It kind of looks like Michelangelo's David on a break having a stretchy hairfit. I like that. Does the stamina in our body decrease if we eat junk but work out regularly? No idea. Everyone's different. Same with clothing. It's better to buy high quality pieces that last longer than cheaper ones. True, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Buying quality is worth it, but Apple really rubs me the wrong way because they will make high quality products. It's the upgrades that get you the markup on the RAM and storage. 100% sketchy. I agree. I agree. And quality can sometimes be subjective as well. You might think that that's like a deal breaker, so then you go PC because you can upgrade, you know what I mean? I like the... Yeah, that's something that does rub me up the wrong way as well. I like the idea, just the general ethos of buying a pair of boots and they last you forever. And then you repair those boots. You don't go out and get another pair, right? Unless you want a different style. You repair stuff. I like the feeling of that. Not always doable, but it's just stuff that lasts, you know? And then it like patinas and it gets... There's like a jacket that you've had for forever, you know, that sort of stuff. I need to decide between a large screen tablet and a large pen tablet with a large monitor. I don't know what to do. Ergonomics is on my mind. Oh, yeah, that's a tricky one. Per the new Apple Mac Neon is a reasonable price, but it's likely not good enough for heavy graphics work. Yeah, I'd look into that. I haven't looked into them personally. Yeah, yeah. Anything that isn't the pros, I wouldn't rely on doing heavy graphics work, you know. I have denim jacket which lasts me for 10 years. I got it from Japan. Good Japanese denim. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Good stuff. I'm trying to push the stylization a little bit here as well. But even. Nah. Actually, I think the head is throwing me off here. So this has got to go back. Like what we were talking about before. Back. Telling that same story. Yeah, that's why I went with PC. With Linux, oh, you're respect. I give up a lot of convenience, but in return, I take on the responsibility of keeping it out of the landfill. True. I don't know how all those artists manage to make their gestural lines look so artistic, and when I try, it looks like I have psychological. Look, believe me, I have that sometimes as well. Some of the lines I'm throwing down, I'm like, ooh, whoa. I'm on Windows and I feel like it, but I wouldn't want to upgrade to Windows 11 with its AI and saving a history of everything you do. Yeah, that's weird. I don't like that at all. Freddie Mercury's daughter. Hello. I feel like whenever I draw in front of other people, I get stressed out and mess up. How does bro do it? I do it a lot. I've been doing it every week for a couple of years now, and you get used to it. Just like with anything, you do anything long enough, you get used to it. But I used to Yeah, I used to stress out and feel like I have to make something look good. And I mean, I've made mistakes all through this whole stream. I'm making mistakes right now, you know. But yeah, it's just like anything. You get used to it the more that you do it. So if I can visualize what I'm seeing here in my mind's eye, if you will join me. Right, so I'm kind of seeing, hold the phone, hold please. All right, I'm trying to imagine that, okay, we've got like a box that's facing backwards here, right? Box, but then we got like a cylinder. It's also facing backwards. Right, but then we got this big old thing here, which is also kind of part of it's facing backwards. If we were to like maybe we can simplify this into like a box. So we've got like the box of the chest. Kind of. But then this kind of curves back down underneath. So now we're looking down. At this, right? So now we got here, we see the bottom of this, we see the top of this, and then we got this like little connector point. We could even make this more extreme. Hey Ben, greetings from Brazil. The study's going really well. Macau, how you doing? Great to have you. Seeing a movie in Los Angeles is definitely a very different experience than in other places I've been. How so? Yeah, it's the Freya challenge. Yeah. Yeah, these poses, they're tricky. I follow you on IG. I love your work and how you stylized. Diego, I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Do you think there's a possibility the ref was generated by AI? It's a strange pose. I don't know. Don't think so. I'm getting realistic vibes from this. The new artist in town, how you doing? Come to Mexico, Ben. This year we got a Mundial Cup. What is a Mundial Cup? Diego from Argentina. Ah, beautiful. Right, so then we got this cylinder of the leg. And then this is kind of coming back this way a little bit. So there's all this like balancing act, bit like bap, bap, bap. We're going to really simplify it down. And then we've got this arm kind of going backwards in space, like a tiny, tiny little bit. This one's coming forward. Right, so that's what I'm thinking about, and that's what I'm seeing. Cylinder here. And then this is kind of flat-ish. And then here is going to be a little bit more three-dimensional. Right, so on a simplified way, this is going backwards. This is kind of straight on. And then you got the hair, you know, so it's kind of like really backwards, forwards, so this is going back, back, all these are going back. Now this is doing the opposite, going this way. This is then scooching down here, forward, this way, right? So it's all doing weird stuff, which is kind of why it looks somewhat appealing. It's more of a thrill here. Like in England, they don't clap; they just unpause. Yeah, we don't clap either. All right, you guys have FIFA. The World Cup. I get you. Seeing Spider-Man on opening weekend in LA is like a thrill. I'd have to do that. I'd love it if I can time it right. That'd be great. Mundo Cup is FIFA 2026. Oh, nice one. Argentina are the champions. Nice. Is Australia good at football? I don't know. I think we're okay. I'm afraid not. Fair enough. Unfazed is that a word? Yeah, unfazed. No, I knew exactly what you meant though. All right. So let's move this one down. Here, maybe this is an opportunity to knock it back. So this, from a style perspective, doesn't equal this. I'm not thinking about this for style, I'm thinking about this for structure. Yandekin Sin, welcome. So even I'm changing the head direction a little bit. Here he's kind of straight on. I'm trying to go like the opposite of this. So this is facing this way. I'm going to face the head this way a little bit more, you know? Why not? Do they have a natural history museum there? We do have a museum, yes. The Adelaide Museum. Right next to the art gallery. I wonder what kind of dinosaurs were discovered in Australia. I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Damn, how you concentrate to draw? I can't do it. Practice. We'll put it this way, when I'm on stream, this is the most inefficient way to get drawings done because I'm back and forth between chat, you know, but it's fun, it's worth it. With something like this, I'd be tempted to start with a black background and just mask the white. Yeah, you could do that, definitely. Is the sky turning red in Australia? I just saw the news. It looks pretty blue to me. Willia Art. Bro, I've been struggling with eyes. Specifically female. Is making them look the same. Let's read this. From different angles is tough. It always feels like the angles don't match, especially the angle that's slightly 3/4 angle where you can see both ears, but one is covered. I'm assuming that was eyes? Ears? Any tips of figuring out how to get it down? I said there's a bunch, but I guess new people pop in here, and when you're drawing them, the eyes in particular, I like to draw them as a unit. All right, so let's do that example where you said maybe like you see like a little bit of the ear potentially on the other side. So that's going to be like more maybe there, depending on the proportions and whatnot. Right, so I draw where the eyes are sitting as a unit. You know? That's one way of doing it. And then you sort of measure where that inner part of the eye is going to be on either side. Right, so that's going to come down here. We can measure that to about there. So that's where that inner part of the eye is going to be. We can then imagine us drawing that eye inside the socket itself. And then we can draw that nose on top where it's going to cut off. And you can imagine the eyeballs themselves. So I'm really thinking through where the eyes are. I'm not just drawing them on top of something. I'm trying to imagine where they would be. If this was a 3D character. Doesn't always work for every style, right? So you got to tweak and change that. That's how I'd keep things in check, you know, draw them together, right? Where's this lash? Where's this lid and lash? You know, they're like connected because they are typically symmetrical, not always. Right, and then if you're doing an expression, the lower lid, right? And if he's got the same sort of deal there, you know, and then we can understand that there's going to be a little bit of a gap here, so that's going to create that nice integration into the nose. Right, so you build it, at least this is what I like to do. It's not the best way to do it, it's not the only way to do it, it's just what I like to do. I like to build up. And if not only, right, because sometimes you might see me do this, where I'm just like, all right, cool, draw the head. And then I might just go. And I'm like, all right, where's... Here, draw that, maybe. I don't know, you might just watch me like go and start drawing. I'm thinking about all this behind the scenes. I'm not just willy-nilly doing stuff. Sometimes I am, if I'm honest, but a lot of the times I'm thinking through the forms. What's actually happening, you know? Hopefully that's of help. How many years of drawing practice you got, Ben? About 32. Nah, I wasn't drawing when I was like 1 or 2. Maybe I was at 2, so maybe about 30 years. But for this stylized stuff, about 3 years. But I had the dexterity and the hand-eye coordination of drawing and painting for most of my life. More realistic stuff. No, you can draw as a baby. I know. I'm not sure if I did though. I can not confirm nor deny. Thank you so much. I'm going to be practicing that and wait for it to click a month later. Good mindset. Because that's kind of how it happens. This kind of stylization, like this kind of, I don't know, this gives me, was it Fumo Blue? No, not Fumo Blue. Blue, like, you know, does anyone know what I'm talking about? Not Fumo Blue. Maybe it was Fumo, no. That, was it the Love, Death and Robots one? Fumo Blue. No, I think that's a club here in Adelaide. Well, it was a club here in Adelaide. But it gives me that kind of vibe. Like the really pushed. which I am a fan of. That is a diamond calf. Oh, you just came out drawing in the hospital and your parents were like, I don't remember giving him a pen. Be very painful. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Me neither. You and me both. My sleep is in the absolute garbage right now. Heart, Robot, Skull, Love, Death and Robots. Zima Blue, Fumo Blue. Yeah, that was a Zima Blue, that's the one. Fumo Blue was a club in Adelaide. It might still be, I don't know. Hey Sean, how you doing? Man, you're good at drawing. You should do it for a living. Not a bad idea, Cosmic. I'll think about it. I think it was being cheeky, Sean. Robert Valley. Rings a bell. I would love to have like multiple, you know, those like Samsung TVs that are like, you could have it as like an art piece. It looks like it's in a frame. I want like a whole wall of them and just always have it plugged in to like a SSD of just inspiration. So when I walk into the room, it's just always flicking through different things. So I'm always exposed to like different art. That would be sick. Also very expensive, but sick nonetheless. Lana, you're a published artist now. You can do anything. Experience be damned. Oh, I forgot. Robert Valley, creator of Zima Blue. Okay, that Gorilla's animation. Oh, sick. Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Zima Blue. This is fun. Like, although it's simple, I'm liking the subtleties of the different directions of the elements, if you know what I'm saying. I got a theory that actually Ben is a Terminator. That's the only way to my mind to consider. Oh, you Alejandro, you silly bugger. I'm just a weirdo that doesn't go out much and draws a fair bit. This is fun. I'm liking these really pushed poses. This is, it's tickling the part of my brain that I like. It's a little bit more pushed than I would usually do it. A little more angular potentially. Yeah, what if Ben this whole time wasn't AI? Okay, proof. You need to prove yourself with like 3 fingers, 1 finger. Like, there is no warping on the face. But it's scary that you're gonna have to do stuff like that to like confirm. I don't think AIs have Australian accents though. Yep, true. None of them do. They can't get that right. G'day, mate. How are you? Throw another shrimp on the Barbie. Put 3 fingers near your forehead. Why? I've got a 3 head. What are you trying to make me do, Lana? Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Also, he can draw hands, so here's an AI. I don't know, depending on the day. Ah, this is a fun little shape I'm seeing in the shadows. How the toes are like crunched up. Yeah. As a New Zealander, every time I hear a synthetic Aussie accent, I just cringe because one, a New Zealand accent, true. But also, two, that Aussie accent is so bad. I don't know why it's so tricky. G'day, mate. How are you? Aussie. Got the New Zealand accent. I love the sing-songiness kind of New Zealand. It's like, hey, bro. That was more South African. Oh, bro. How are you doing? That was kind of South African. Ben, would you live in the US if you had a chance? I definitely would. Oh, do your New Zealand accent? No, I can't. I'd butcher it. I can't. Do South Africa? I can't. I don't know whether I love doing accents, but I'm gonna get cancelled one day. I'm sure because I do them out of pure curiosity. But one day, I really like understanding how accents work. And I'm gonna do the wrong one, and then people are gonna get upset. And it's not out of any other reason than I just like. I was fascinated. Who's that? Is it? He's a guy that can do like Morgan Freeman, and he's a white American dude, and he does all of them, and it's unbelievable. And his like face changes. I've always been like, ever since as a kid, I've always been interested in like impressions. To be fair, the New Zealand accent gets mixed up with South African most as it gets mixed up with Australian. Yeah, because it's bro. It's the bro. Alejandro, you buddy legend. New Zealand is more even. Can you try? I'm out of practice. When I'm around him, I can do an American accent. I don't know what to say. Like, what's hey, how are you? Yeah, the U's are different. Hey, how are you? I'm Ben from America. I'm drawing gesture. The forms, the anatomy. Nah, that was shit. New Zealand is more. I thought it was more like this. It depends on who you're talking to and what kind of New Zealand you're talking to. Same as Australia, they got all different dialects. I feel like that's more like sing-songy than Australian. But Australian goes like, I guess, yeah. It's like up and down all the time. Got to do a bit of this and a bit of that. No, not Jim Carrey. He's a particular impressionist, which is amazing. I think Australians speak from the back of their mouth and South Africans more up top. Interesting. South African, because they talk more like on this. How are you? Like, hello, I'm Ben from South Africa. It's almost like rounder. A little bit rounder. The South African, in a way. Bro. Is it Ipa? Fuck, what's his name? It's gonna annoy me. Let me just look him up. Impressionist, famous comedian. Would like to use don't allow. Get out of here. No, not Rich Little. Comedian Morgan Freeman. This guy. Frank Caliendo. That's the one. This guy's phenomenal. His impressions. Frank Caliendo. Oh yeah, for an Australian accent, I think I've said this. In England, everything is a question. That's true. I used to know an American guy, and you had to speak to him with a fake American accent, and I had to do that a lot when I'm in the States. It's like survival. You've got to. Art is one. Went to a Barnes and Noble. I was like, "Where's the art section?" She's like, "What?" The art section. She's like, sorry, what?" I was like, "Ah, fuck." The art section. She's like, "Oh, the art section." I was like, "Fuck!" I sound like such a fucking dickhead when I throw on the accent, but it's like I got to do it. Early 2000s animation dub impressions are my favorite. Yeah, I do have. Yeah, Frank. Yeah, I forget about that. If you say rise up lights. Rise up lights in an American accent, then you are saying razor blades in Australian. Shing. So say rise up lights in an American accent. You say razor blades. Rise up lights. Rise up lights. Razor blades. Same. That's how you do an Australian accent. Razor blades. And there's another one. I can't remember it. It was a good one. What else was... What to say in American to sound Australian? Rise up lights quickly sounds like a shirt. No, don't tell me exactly how. You say beer can with a British accent, you sound Jamaican. Like rise up lights. Ice cream. Whale oil beef hooked. That's a great one. Irish, but often grouped with accent hacks. Well, oil beef hooked. That's a good one. I like that. I'm going to use that. Well, oil be fucked. Very good. Oh, I like that one. That was good. Well, oil be fucked. Who the fuck are you? Yeah, just for Google and stuff. Well, oil be... I love it. Well, oil be fucked. All right. I reckon with that, I'm going to call it a stream. What do we call this guy? Fancy pants. There we go. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. A couple of laughs, which I always enjoy. Thank you to everyone in chat for hanging out, having a bit of a chin wag with me. Didn't get too much crazy stuff done today. We got a little bit of exploration. Started with this fella. Went here. More line work heavy today. Bit of understanding the anatomy. Us. And then we ended up with this fella. All right. No awards will be won, but we showed up, did some work, and I'm happy with that. And for those that aren't in chat, I appreciate you just as much. The lurkers. Yeah, got some cool stuff coming up. Well, oil be fucked. That was a great stream. Yeah, got some cool stuff coming up. Keep an eye out. Links in the description if you want more from me. I'll be about the place. This stream happens every week. Mondays, 10:45 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time or Daylight Time, depending, and around 4 or 5 p.m. PST, depending on the daylight savings stuff. I'm probably going to get a calendar up, like a stream schedule, so everyone can see. I've been doing it long enough. I think that's in order. But with that, I will catch you next week. Have a great rest of your week or weekend. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye for now.